everyone. I was quite often asked how I spent my time in New Zealand. What did I do in New Zealand? I have kept this very quiet. I wanted to make sure this is for real before I speak about this. So what was I doing? How did I become so strong? How did I become so fit and healthy? Some of you may know that I have needed to manage my 32-degree scoliosis since having been put into a metal Milwaukee corset 24/7 for 4 years as a teenager, also called torture. I would see all sorts of therapists wherever I traveled in the last 40 years. Anything from Alexander technique, Tai Chi, Reiki, shamans, healers, hypnosis, homeopathy, Feldenkrais, CBD, and many other lesser-known approaches. The doctors back then told me not to have children. I ignored that successfully and have 2 beautiful kids. Up until recently, I would be told by therapists, mostly chiropractors, who were aware of my x-rays, that they would expect me to be far more disabled than I actually am. So I came to New Zealand and soon looked for a chiropractor on a local social media page, and I received several recommendations. And also, Jessica contacted me and told me about NRT. I was immensely skeptical. I was at a point where just managing my scoliosis, my back, was all I thought would be possible. But I had time and went along with to try it out. And 6 months later, here I am, pain-free, able to move in ways I remember from early childhood, able to lift things that would have shut my body down in pain for days. Recently, I jumped around on a trampoline with 5 other children. So what is the secret of NRT? NRT reactivates the nerves, bringing them back online by connecting the sensory input from eyes, ears, muscles, joints, fascia, sense of space, touch, and more, with your brain and consciousness. You can liken it to a person controlling a robotic limb with their brain consciousness. Your thoughts and your will can enhance awareness and control of your movements and position in space. So when old people shuffle along, it is not because they are physically incapable of moving the body, but because their sensory input is offline. Once I grasped the depth of NRT, I went, wow. And I began to see the vast possibilities of expanded consciousness by applying this knowledge to the non-physical realm. I can see how the electronics of our bodies are being weakened and deactivated in so many ways in the world we live in. And I can see that it is not the muscles that are weak, but the firing up of the neurons connecting the brain to the muscles. So what NRT does, it fires up your body, your awareness, and your electric field, basically your aura. Why is it so secret? Practitioners have no need for marketing. That is how good NRT is. Celebrities and teams of athletes will hire and fly NRT specialists across the world to improve a team's performance, for example. The man who spent years researching NRT, coming up with NRT, is a very private and very busy man. He is highly specific in whom he teaches. Many other therapies are abbreviated with NRT and sound similar. Simon Frost's NRT stands for Neuro Reset Technique. I have begun to learn from him online. There are about 20 practitioners worldwide, and it just so happens that Jessica and Anthony have recently moved to Papamoa, New Zealand, just an hour's drive from where I lived. Of course, it is also possible to be treated online or fly in to see them. I was just very lucky. So what happens in a session? To begin with, in very simple terms, we might treat a joint or a muscle or a tendon. We might integrate that body part into our sensations and awareness. So you might be lying down on a therapy table. You'd be gently tested for your force production to find the precise issue, cancelling headphones or closing your eyes. We then single out the part to be treated with our breath and our awareness. You create a picture of the joint or other part in your brain and focus on the sensation in your joint as the joint is moved. And minutes later, you will have that precise function online again with your brain in control. Voila! It's painless, instant, permanent. It's PIP. It's gentle, easy, quick. It's GEC. So it's PIP and GEC. When the physical awareness and energy fields are robust, we then might integrate higher awarenesses of space and time. These sessions are intense. They require focus from both the therapist and the client. What is the gain? I vividly remember a beautiful 6-year-old girl coming up to me in the market in Coromandel, holding my tummy and saying, "You look pregnant." She wouldn't say that anymore. I remember keeping a lookout for people who could carry things for me. Now I find myself pushing the trolley while carrying my bags in my hands. I remember not being able to move for days without pain. That is all gone. So athletes and musicians improve their performance. Others have been saved from the surgeon's knife or released from a life in a wheelchair. I now look back appalled at what I used to look like and some of the physical tasks I was struggling with. At the same time, I am thrilled with the new freedom I have found. I'm sure this will add an extra bundle of years in good condition to my life. How many sessions does it take? It might be just a few sessions to fix the immediate issue, or you might want regular tune-ups. Sessions usually don't sound cheap. But had I found NRT 40 years ago, before it even existed, I would have had a more enjoyable life in this body and saved tons of time, money, and energy on just managing. I prioritize my health over other expenditures, and I'm overjoyed to finally being pain-free and fit. Remember, it's PIP, painless, instant, permanent, and GEC, gentle, easy, quick. So after 6 months of treatments, I can safely say NRT is for real.